The Torah tells us, book of Vayikra, book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 9. Uvkutzrechem et ktsir artzechem. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not complete your reaping to the corner of your field, and the gleaning of your harvest you shall not take. You shall not pick the undeveloped twigs of your vineyards, and the falling fruit of your vineyard you shall not gather. For the poor and for the convert shall you leave them. I am Hashem your God. Here is a mitzvah that we are obligated to leave part of our income to those who need. And here the Torah elaborate and specified in a very clear way what need to be done. It's called matnot aniyim, meaning we have a concept of trumot u'masrot, giving a tithe. Here, in addition to trumot u'masrot, there is a obligation to do. Number one, it's called peret. Peret, it's one grape or two, for example, that left the cluster the time of the collection of the different grapes. So you not allow as the owner to take, you have to leave it for the poor people. Then the next one is called olelot. If you have a small grape, you ask to leave it for the poor people, very tiny. Beshichecha, this is when you, like the book of Ruth, you're collecting a harvest and it's left over after you harvest your estate. You cannot return and pick them up, you leave it for the poor people. And pe'ah is the corner of your field, no measurement, but those corners you need to leave for the poor people. So the case here I'm going to speak is if someone declare ownerless of his estate, here the estate is a vineyard, and then the next morning he went down, he picked the grape from the vineyard. So it means that it was departed from his estate when he declared ownerless, but then he came back and started working on that, which means, in a sense, he re-owned it. He is like back in a status of ownership. So basically today we're going to elaborate on the subject of hefker, what something is considering ownerless. If you treat it as the Rambam tells us, the same as a regular gift, what exactly the definition of gift by halacha? It's called in Ivrit heter zchiya le'adam mesuyam. You designated a certain person to have the right or the access to that gift. So that only that person, the rest of the world, not have the access to that, which is basically saying that I own it, but I give an access to someone who can take an ownership, but it's only him. So in that sense, the mahalach, the way we think about hefker, about ownerless, is the same as gift. So the question is, how do you treat a state that is ownerless? We explained in the previous daf that if someone came in and picked it up and it was declared for a certain amount of time, it's a disputation if he can return it or not. We explained that people cheaters try to circumvent the taxes by declare ownerless and then taking back their estate so they are free from giving tithe. So here we have a case like that, basically challenge what Reish Lakish it tells us previously, because according to Reish Lakish, the entire Braita followed the view of Rabbi Yossi that hold that Adon Toalo Hefker does not leave the possession of the owner until someone else take possession of it. So basically you see here, until someone does, the owner may always retract his declaration. If he does, the field is biblically subject to giving a tithe. מי טבעי המפקיר את כרמו ולשחר עמד ובצרו. If someone declare ownership on his vineyard, and then in the morning he went up and basically picked the fruit. So here you have a situation that he has, in a way, have it back to his domain. So חייב בפרד, בעוללות ובשכחה ופאה, he needs to give all these different matnot aniyim in addition to Trumot u'Maasot, as we explained earlier. And all of that applies only in this situation, but upatur min ha'maaser, as far as giving a tithe, that's a different story. The separation tithe from the grape, because you tell me that the vineyard is ownerless, so you don't have an obligation to tithe the produce. Bishlama le'ula, so the Gemara asks, this is good according to the Ula, who put this braita on 43, 44, like the sages, that it cannot back out from the hefker. The Rabbanan katan ela or the Oraita katan ela, which means this is both a rabbinic and biblical. They are both, we learn that hefker, it's, biblically speaking, is a total hefker. The moment you declare something ownerless, its final word is the final ownerless. It's, you can't do anything. It's ownerless. אלא לריש לקיש, עמי פטור מן המעשר. According to Rish Lakish, why is exempt from giving a tithe? So, because according to Rabbi Yossi, it's not become an hefker, so it still need to give a maser. So it's his. So why is exempt from giving a tithe? So Amar lach, ki amrinan ana leRabbi Yossi, ha-Rabbanani. What I said originally, I said it followed the view of Rabbi Yossi, that basically all that ownerless item basically have the possession of the owner only when it entered to the possession of others. But here it has to be by the view of the sages, that they said that it leaves the possession of the owner immediately the moment that he declare hefker, ownerless. So even according to the sages, the obligation of tithe is during the 3 days, because as we explained in the previous daf, it was those cheaters that we put to the decree. Biblically speaking, he is exempt from that. So the Braita meant to say that he is exempt by the biblical term, but the rabbinic view, he is still obligated. Later, times allow, we will read the Rambam in Ilchot Matnot Aniyim, chapter 5. 45. I ba'it eima. If you wish, you can say instead, ha de'afkerei be'anpei trin, ve'ha de'afkerei be'apei tlata. The first braita that you speak about, him retract his ownerless, which is according to Rabbi Yossi, biblically speaking, it speaks about he make this declaration of ownerless at the front of 2 people only. The second one, when he declared ownerless for his vineyard, and then he went back and picked it up, that's a situation that happened before 3 people, and that considering a total ownerless, and he cannot change his mind, so therefore exempt from giving a tithe. The reason for this differentiation is because when he declares ownerless at the front of 1 or the front of the 2, so you don't hear much about it. So it's like, in a way, like a gift. But when you do it at the front of 3, it's promulgated, people hear about it. So he has in his mind that everyone will be aware of that. So it's not kind of gift. The moment he declares honorless, it's departed from his domain, and he cannot change his mind anymore. That's the way the Ran explains. The truth is, the Mefarshim here said, when you talk about 3, so it's in a way, since you tell me that 3, it's more publicity, and it's like the same as a dut, the same as giving a witnesses, etc. It's like a matter of zchiyah that he acquired. So the Maharit ask a question, how about if someone declare honorless at the front of 3 people who are his relatives? Is that okay or not? So he basically said, why not? But Reb Meir Eric said you can't do that. Why? Because if you have 3 that they became like part of the witnesses that he acquired, so you can't take your relatives. So, and he explained it's not because of the eidut, because of the matter of witnessing something. It's just this way it should be done when you have publicity, and that's the essence of the point. And that's the idea of the hefker, that you publicize it. Anyway, דאמר רבי יוחנן משום רבי שמעון בן יהוצדק, כל המפקיר בפני 3 הווה הפקר. If someone declare honorless before 3 people, the item is considering honorless. בפני 2 לא הווה הפקר. But if he does that in front of the 2 people, it's not considering honorless. It's like a gift. And therefore, he can retract his decision. רבי יהושע בן לוי אמר, דבר תורה, biblically speaking, אפילו באחד הווה הפקר. If it's the one, it's considering a honorless. ומה תאמרו ב3? כדי שיהיה אחד זוכה ו2 מעידים. The reason that they require 3, it's because they aim to have one should be able to take possession of the property, and they have 2 attest to this. And so and that was the acquired by that person. So if it is not a requirement fundamental to the declaration of honorless status, but therefore the Ran said that's the reason why the rabbis require, if you do hefker, you should have 3. The Noda Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda Levi of Prague, asked in his response on Noda Yehuda, if someone went to his neighbor's property and he collected the fruit and he wants to betroth a woman with that valuable fruit, so he asked, is that effective or not? Basically he said that it's a thievery, and if he's a thief, it makes no difference where and how it looks. He is automatically honorless. It doesn't have a value, especially since it's gezel, it's not his. But the Rambam said, if you talk about 1 apple, for example, Adam lo makpid, people don't care. Sometimes people have so much, they don't care if someone takes something. So maybe you have a chalot kiddushin. So the idea is, when it's come to honorless, you need to give the notice to every single person. Everyone needs to be aware. But he said that if he's not pada, it's chal. It's a big question if it's chalot or lo chal kiddushin in that sense, because you can say that it's taken effect, but they have the other side that say that it's considering an hefker. Hadran alach ein bein amudar.
Boyachem leshuloim alachai yeshuloim malachai